Hello, YouTube. I just wanted to start off saying thank you to everybody watching my channel. I do want to make a special shout out to the Skywatchers. That's part of my mother's channel. They take pictures of the sky, beautiful pictures. They photograph the sky. I've always been, one to look up to in my life. I've always always looking up to the sky, looking to see, what else is out there. And another thing I wanted to say is, that's how I feel like my brain is, I guess, how it works. If I'm not focused on work or one particular thing or my kids or whatever we're doing, my brain is like a sky watcher. It's always looking up. It's always, I don't know how to say it really. There's no way else to say it besides just always going, always thinking. So I do want to shout out to the Skywatchers because I, have been a Skywatcher myself. Not much video or anything like that on it. I just do it in my own time. But I think a lot of us, I don't know if there's one person that's never not really actually looked to the sky, and everybody should, because there's so much bigger things than us out there. There's so much bigger things than our problems out there. There's so much in general. It makes you feel kind of small at times. But thank you guys for watching my show. So what I was getting at was that some people, if you're around and you're keeping your positive attitude and you're keeping your positive thinking about, no matter what happens, you stay positive about it. There's no reason to stress about it or, let it get you down, because that gets you nowhere. But if you stay positive, you can keep moving forward even in a bad situation. So say you're with somebody who's, always got the negative thinking, and that negative thinking, and they don't want to think positive. They don't, because they're going through things, they have their reasons. There's nothing wrong with them. Anybody thinking negative, it's human nature. You got to change that slowly. You can change it slowly by start thinking of, instead of thinking of, certain things, I guess, that you want, you can actually manifest through positive thinking. You can think of feelings or emotions, and then that'll change, and then eventually you'll get to where you want to be because you'll have that on your mind. So your work ethic will basically start. It comes from your mind and your thoughts. So if you're around somebody that's negative thinking, okay, they're going through something, they're going through a situation, you're trying to help them. But if you're new and still trying the positive thing, and seeing the results, you've done it and you've seen the results, and it enough that you're going to keep doing it. But the other person, like I said, is in a situation and you're trying to help them, and you're trying to help them realize that about the positive part, about thinking positive, about trying to move forward to get out of the situation or deal with the situation, whatever it may be. But then if they don't, and that negative thinking, sometimes unless you've done it for a long time, you know how to deal with it, and you can, let them see it for themselves, or lead by example. But if you're still early in it, that negative thinking can kind of rub off on you. You can start getting frustrated because they won't change their thoughts, or they don't want to, or whatever they're going through is so tough, or maybe you don't even know what they're going through. They won't talk to you. So anyway, what I was saying is it can really get to you as well, or frustrate you and kind of bring you down, bring you into that lower vibes, and you don't want that. So you want to keep your high vibes, you want to keep your positive thinking, even your loved ones, let them lead by example, or just, or if you can't help them, if you're along that, if you've been thinking positive long enough and you can help them, do whatever you can for them, of course. But my point is to don't surround yourself if you don't have to. If they're gonna just stay negative, you gotta let them figure that out themselves, because they will eventually. Because they're gonna start to point in their life, which happened to me, is that you're so unhappy, you're so angry at everything, and you don't like that. You don't like this point of life. You don't like where you're at. You don't want to be angry anymore, so that's when you start to think about, well, what can I do? And then can I change my thoughts, my mindset? What do I have to do to get out of this feeling, this pain, So then that's when they start to see it from themselves. Well, at least some, and then some might not. But I'm telling you, it's the way to go. It works. So you start changing your thoughts, your mindset. You see it in reality. You see it come to you, good ways, and always try to give back. What you give back, you'll get. Well, and I know you've heard it too. What you give, you'll get back in return tenfold. But that's not the point, though. You don't want to just do it because of what you're going to get back. You want to do it, because what you've been through, or maybe you've been through situations and you've gotten through it, and you know how, they might feel. And so you want to give back what you've learned. You want to give back what you've got. I'm not saying give away your house and give away everything you have to somebody because you worked hard for it. No, I'm just saying give back some of your knowledge if you can. Give back what you can. If you're at church, give some offering, and I don't know, like a certain percentage of your money. And I get how people feel about people standing with signs. Some people get on the corner, they have nowhere to go, nothing to eat. Some, and I know people take advantage of that too, but, and there's mixed emotions about that. Some people are like, well, you can spend all day getting a job, you could take that. And that's how I was raised, that if I don't have work or something, you spend 8 hours a day trying to find work, and you'll find it. Maybe not that day, but if you put the time in, and that's anything in life, if you put the time in and you work on it every day, you'll eventually get there. You'll get what you want. And don't be greedy. I'm not saying nothing like that, but I'm saying you can get where you want to be. And it starts with, you can make your big steps and then make smaller steps. Just anything that's going to get you where you want to be. And then you'll start following them with your work ethic, whatever it is. Try to change your work ethic if it's not the greatest. Get up early in the morning. That's going to get you further in life, just because you can't spend your whole life sleeping. There's so much to do. There's so much to be done. There's so much you can do for yourself. Basically, I try to leave every day. When I wake up in the morning and I go to sleep at night, I try to leave the day better than it was when I woke up. And if you do that every day, you'll see good results. And so that's why I try to be Mr. Positive. But, that's not always the case either, of course. And that's not the case for a lot of people. It's hard to always stay positive. It's not like you can always just be Mr. Chippy, But my point is, you got to keep your thoughts that way, because if you don't, you're not going to move anywhere, okay? Even if you don't move backwards, you're still not going to move anywhere. You're going to stay in the same spot. And that's just kind of what I'm getting across today, is I think, so about keeping yourself around positive people, because that's going to help you also. The negative people, be careful if you're new into the thinking positive, and it's because it can bring you down too. But if you've done it long enough, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are done this a lot longer than me, and they can deal with things better than I could have. With someone who is thinking negative and trying to get their thoughts right. But my point is, there's I've said that a lot. I'm sorry about the point. But I guess that's what I'm making as a point. And also shout out to Julie Marvin, Skywatcher, for sharing my videos, and anybody else who wants to share them. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. just all about trying to be Mr. Positive, and anything in life can, try to stray you from that, because it's so many obstacles, so many speed bumps, so many bumps in the road, as you could say. But there's always just keeping positive on top of it, and we'll keep that in mind, and keep going positive, and stay positive, you too. And another thing is pretty obvious. I don't script anything really. I'll maybe think of a subject or something to talk about, which I'm going to start scripting probably more. I like to go off script. I don't really like to go by anything. I do like to have a list of things, like an actual life, that I needs done, to check off, what you need to do, so you know what you have to do. But as far as these videos, I wanted to kind of just go with the flow, like how my mind really is, just kind of let it flow out there. But I do want to say that, it's kind of obvious, I guess, to anyone watching, especially if you make videos, that I don't really script anything. So this is just me. You're just hearing me talking and kind of what's in my head. So about the positive things.